This is News You Can Use.
To start this year, 2022, we hosted a meeting with Doug Duncan, our good friend, Senior Vice President and Chief Economist with Fannie Mae, to discuss his latest economic forecast and housing forecast for the year. Over the years, no economist has more accurately predicted what's coming next for our industry than Doug Duncan and his team at Fannie Mae. He shared a wealth of knowledge that we'll be sharing with you in bite-sized pieces over the coming weeks. The housing market's going to be different this year. It is every year. And in some ways in 2022, it's going to be more challenging. We all just need to adjust to the new conditions that exist so that we can find our way to our best this year. Check out Doug's insights to help you become the most informed professional possible. All right, our folks that are watching today, listening today, mostly are focused on housing, and they're like, yeah, this Fed guy's good and all that kind of good stuff. But Pat, Doug, talk to us about our industry so we can think about how 2022 might take place. So your forecast calls for the Fed to raise rates this year, and we know that they might limit asset purchase and all those things. How will the Federal Reserve's policy, if you will, dovish to a little bit more hawkish, as they might say? How do you forecast it's going to affect 30-year fixed rates in the mortgage industry this year?
Well, no question, it's upward pressure on rates. You've seen that in the last 3 days. The 10-year Treasury has gone up some 25 or 30 basis points in response to the release of the minutes of the last Federal Reserve Board meeting. So those minutes are released 3 weeks after the Fed meets, and it can be used as a signaling device. It's not a direct recording of everything that happens because they typically don't name names. They'll say some people thought this, the majority of people thought that. These are signaling devices, and so in that release, two things were new, and the combination of those suggested to the market that they're going to be more aggressive in raising interest rates than what was previously thought. And that is that the minutes suggested they will curtail their purchases to increase their portfolio at least as rapidly as previously expected, but then start raising the federal funds target rate sooner than was thought, and will move most likely to an aggressive reduction in the size of their portfolio. That was really the thing that the market responded to, was that portfolio reduction. So all of those things are going to generate upward pressure on mortgage rates. As you well know, there is a spread between mortgage rates and Treasury rates. That spread's going to get squeezed through competition as every lender is going to face that rising rate environment, and they'll have to compete one against another for that business. And so I would expect that that's going to put pressure on profitability and make expense management a really critical issue for everybody in the mortgage field.
Yeah, and certainly it's already kind of started. We've seen that simply because the market grew, the housing finance industry grew to support an unprecedented refinance marketplace that is now shrinking because of higher interest rates. So thank you, Doug, for offering your insights to all of us. We'll be back next week with more News You Can Use.